In this video, we're going to continue the transformation of functions. So we said that y equal x squared. It's going to be a parabola that looks like this, and it's starting at the 0 and the 0. What if we have a negative number beside the x squared? What if I want to find y equal negative x squared? Again, it always goes down to the table. So if again I plot my values, and if I put y equal negative x squared, so this means I'll square first, so negative 3 squared is going to be positive 9, and then you add a negative to it, so it's going to be negative 9. This is going to be negative 4, negative 1, 0, negative 1, negative 4, and negative 9. So when I plot this parabola, it's going to be negative 3 and negative 9, and so on. If you plot these points, you're going to have a parabola that is actually looking downwards. So it's going to look like that. So once you have a negative beside the x squared, the parabola, instead of looking up, it opens downwards. The vertex actually did not change. It's still at 0 and 0, but this time we call it the maximum, because this is the maximum value of the function. So any negative number beside the x squared, it's going to look down. What if you multiply the function by, let's say, 2, or any number that is actually greater than 1 for that matter, any number greater than 1. So what will happen? Again, if you try your values, same values of x, you're going to get your y's that look like this: 18, 8, 2, 0, 2, 8, and 18, right? These are, again, for the same 7 values we use. So what happens to the parabola is that, of course, if the 2 is positive, we said this is going to look up, but at negative 3, it's going to be 18, which is very high here, and negative 2 is going to be 8, so the values of y actually increased. So what happens to the parabola is that it becomes narrower or steeper. It goes up faster when you multiply the function by any number that is greater than 1. So if you multiply, in the same sense, if you multiply the function by a number that is less than 1, like half, for example, the parabola is going to be actually wider because the values of y is going to decrease. The negative 3, in this case, instead of getting 18 or even 9, if this is half x squared, it's going to actually get 4.5. And instead of negative 2 on the x squared getting 4, it's going to get 2. Again, what I'm doing is plugging negative 2 here, and it's going to give you 2. So the values of y is going to decrease, so the parabola is going to look wider. Okay? So this is going to be if you multiply the function by any number that is less than 1. So let's take an example on what we did and taking into account what we did earlier. So let's say, how do you sketch y equal negative 2 x plus 1 squared plus 3? There are 4 different things that are happening here. You have a negative 1, a plus 1 inside the bracket, so that this means that it's going to go left 1, plus 3 outside, and then they're going to go up by 3. Negative, this means that it's looking down, so it's going to do this, it's going to look down. And 2, when you multiply by a number greater than 1, means that it's going to be narrower. So all of this combined to a shape that would look like this. It moves to the left by 1, it goes up by 3, so negative 1 and 3 here. It's going to look down, and it's going to go down fast because you have a number here that is greater than 1, so the parabola becomes narrower. If you take another example, let's say y equal 1 over 4 x minus 2 and then minus 1. So here we have three things that we'll do. The function is multiplied by a number that is less than 1. Remember, it does not have to be half. It could be quarter, 3 over 4, any number that is less than 1. Makes the parabola wider, right? Negative 2 inside the x makes it goes to the right, and negative 1 outside the bracket makes it go down 1. So this means that it's going to go to the right 2. It's going to go down by 1. So the vertex is going to be negative 2 and 1. But since the number here is positive, it's going to be looking up actually, but it's going to open wider because you multiplied it by 1 over 4. So it's going to be a wider function.